YSL is a criminal street gang that started in the late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue of Atlanta, Georgia. YSL claims affiliation with the National Bloods gang. So released a song on YouTube titled Slime Shit, where the lyrics state, hey, this is that slime shit. Hey, YSL. Hey, killing 12 shit. Hey, a jail shit. Hey, cooking white brick. I'm not new to this. Hey, so I'm not new to this. Hey, I'm so true to this. Hey, I done put up a whole slime of 100 licks. Slime or get slime. I'm in the VIP and I got that pistol on my hip. You praying that you live. I'm praying that I hit. Hey, this that slime shit. Fuck the police. Fuck them in a high speed. 100 rounds in a Tahoe, I'm prepared to take them down. Got banana clips for all these acting monkey. This, that slime shit. This, that mob shit. Fuck the judge, YSL. This, that mob.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it comes out Lord of the Rings. Like the movie. You gonna do it 15, 16. Yeah, Lord of the fucking Rings, man. Top of mine.
You did what?
Yeah, there you go.
There you at?
There you go. What a King Truth, man. King Truth, nigga. Blueface. Blueface for truth, man. You know what I'm saying? Blueface coming real crip.
I went blackface, man. Black
You know what I'm saying? I'm real left crip. You know what I'm saying? The slimiest crip you ever met. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, the Super Bowl in Atlanta this year.
Capping that boy. You already got the ring.
Throw that shit, slime. Throw that murder shit, slime. Let them fuck know.
It's no time for
Turn left. Look for the bitch boy, true getting cracked in that bitch, man. Went on you to bum on blood, you know what I mean? Inglewood way blood. Straight like that.
bankroll, motherfucker. Ain't no bitches. Ain't no woman like the one I
Same label in the Southeast region right now, you know what I mean? We pretty much going for the, you know, biggest label in the world. The artists that I work with that are signed, Trinidad James, Rich Homie Quan, Forte Boy, Jacquees. I discovered Quan basically. I own a store in Atlanta called Fly Kicks. And I walked in the store one day and I heard his music playing. He had dropped off his mixtape. I came in the store, I heard the music playing. I was like, yo, what is this? Who is this? You know what I'm saying? I was like, this music is crazy. And so one of my employees had given me the CD. So I took the CD, jumped in the car, I started playing it. And man, before I even finished this first song, you know, I called back to the store and was like, get him to the store, I want to sign him. And the rest is history.
I invested in these CDs. I invested in these CDs from this music. So I might have printed up, man, probably 1,000 CDs of that. But Fly, and Fly being the owner of TIG, he had a store in Atlanta called Fly Kicks. And Fly Kicks is like y'all at the NYC Flight Club. You know what I'm saying? So everybody goes there. So my brother would go there first. So like I didn't want to go there. Like I'm like, I don't want to be around them niggas, man. But Dre just took some CDs and put them up there. And he ended up giving one to my dude named Jay Connect, and Jay put them up there. And one day, I think Fly, he got a CD out of it. I don't know how it happened, but I ended up getting a call, like saying the owner of Fly Kids want to sit down and talk to you. He like one of your songs. And I was like, man, okay, but I ain't gonna put the business out there. But the first time I met him, we was just downstairs in a little lobby. And he was like, bro, I want to sign you. Like, what you want, man? You know, I don't know what I just want some money, bro. I just want to be signed. I'm broke. I know the shit, Mike. I know I'm hard, though. Don't try me. I know I'm hard. This shit microwave ready. Fuck with me, bro. Make this my job. I don't got no job. Just like, you know what I'm saying? He like, man, I can give you some money. So I started him out for like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? I started him out for like 6 months. Then he called, like, bro, you had anybody look at the paper? I was like, yeah, man, I had my lawyer to look at it, man. I ain't have my lawyer look. I had Monte look at it. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't I didn't sign a bad contract. So I don't never want nobody to think like when I be saying I didn't sign a bad contract at all. You know what I'm saying? The contract was cool.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I signed. So even when I signed, like, I didn't even sign for a lot of money. Like, niggas don't even know I signed. But listen, man, I signed for $19,000. I was so broke, but I was so smart. Listen how smart I am. $19,000. I know I don't have a job. So this is what I told Fly. I said, look, Fly, I don't even want all my money up front. Pay me every week. So I was getting $400 every Friday. I will have every Sunday, every Friday, I will meet him or have him get it. Cause I started treating it like a job in my mind, cause I knew if I got 19,000, I was gonna mess that money up fast.
Talking about taking something from me like no way. Tuggle, that my brother. You don't want no trouble, or you can get these fish knuckle.
The first day I met, it wasn't the first day I met. Yes, it was the first day I met Baby. He came to one of my shows in Miami. He was like, nephew, pull up on me at the studio. I got one I want you to hear. Rightfully so, I pull up to the studio. He hit spacebar. The rest is history, bro. That song he played, Lifestyle, when I first heard it, I was like, man, who that, Wayne? When I first heard Lifestyle, I thought it was Wayne on it. He like, nah, that Thug. I was like, what the Thug? I didn't die. Like, I've been had it for. I've been saving it for you, nephew. I swear to God. The first time I met Birdman, went straight to the studio, we did Lifestyle. I promise to God. And we were shooting the video 2 days later. It was just great collaborative music. Like I was never just Rich Gang. We were just all solo artists, working on a project together. You know what I mean? I never signed any paperwork. You feel me? I came in, Rich Homie Quan, and that's the way I wanted to leave, man. Despite how much good music we did, or all that, you know what I mean? I still want to just always do my own thing.
How does it feel to make a meal? Back from East Atlanta all the way to Old Night. How does it feel to make a meal? Back from East Atlanta all the way to Old Night. How does it feel to make a meal? Well, that's what she do. What she do, Thug? I guess she do the most. She do the most. She do the most. She do the most. That's what she do. Going crazy like what word? Turn up, nigga. I see the shit like that Britney, so I bought that old coat. She ain't give me lemon, so I go get
On that day, January 5th, IF gang member Kelvin Watts attempted to rob YSL gang member Kenneth Copeland at Club Crucial. Atlanta Police Department gang unit investigators at the time believed what was widely speculated, that this altercation at the club incited the beef that boiled over days later, ending the life of Big Nut on January 10th, 2015.
Of a triple shooting.
Neighbors in Atlanta's Castleberry Hill neighborhood heard the gunfire around 7:30 Saturday night. Say a teenager and a man in his 20s were both shot in the leg. The third, 26-year-old Donovan Thomas, was critical.
Had a significant injury. We had at least multiple gunshots in the upper torso area. He was rushed to surgery.
Thomas died at the hospital. Homicide detective.
He was, quote, first a family man and a man of the community. He was caring and always looked out for anyone he came into contact with. He will surely be missed in my life. Police believe the two adult men and a 14-year-old were triple shooting outside this barbershop ended the life of 6-year-old Donovan Thomas.
The indictment also tied the rapper to of Donovan Thomas.
This is from court of Young Thug in a blue jump.
January 10th, 2015, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, was in the Infiniti he rented just a few days earlier when he spotted Thomas standing outside of a barbershop on 330 McDaniel Street in Atlanta. Thug was also with Garlington, aka D, Shannon Jackson, aka Shannon Stillwell, aka SB, DeMonte Kendrick, aka Yak Gotti, Demise McMullen, aka Nard, and Justin Cobb, aka Doo-Wop. According to police documents and testaments from a key witness at the scene involved in the crime, Young Thug loaned the car to his YSL affiliates to carry out the hit on Peanut.
YFN Lucci is from Summerhill and is part of the YFN crew. The YFN crew have beef with Young Thug and YSL ever since the murder of Big Nut. Now all this put Lil Baby and the whole bank first play later in the middle in which they picked sides with Young Thug. Lil Baby and YFN Lucci were cool at first, but YFN Lucci claims Lil Baby tried to set him up.
I'm gonna go favorite member first. I don't think I should be telling everybody this, but we were just in the Crucial. He took me to the Cruise Club, Crucial in the A, and that boy had 3 on with him. You smell me? If you know what I mean, you'll know what I mean. And they we just kicking it, and we just let me know, like, boy, you finna be out of here, Luke, like, a couple months, like, not even no year, like 9 months, 8 months, you gonna be out of here, boy. And we just in there, you know, bottle, sipping, kicking it. And nothing, man, you know, he introduced me to Fly. He was like, man, Fly know, like, man, shout it. It's hard. Like, ain't nobody harder than him, man. He, you know, he want to do it. He love doing it, so he gonna do it, and he gonna listen.
It's all there.
All there, 190 of it.
All right. What'd you say?
Most money I've ever seen at once. 190 grand.
Okay. What's that?
This is the tablet. The chords and stuff.
Okay. So we got a tablet in it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can, instead of doing the, like, screens where you can't take
You got the
out.
refrigerator?
Yeah.
Okay, where the refrigerator at? Right here?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, so look, I got this 2021 Maybach, first one in the United States, right? Somebody tell Lucci come pick up his truck.
There was an incident where your house was shot up, not once, but twice.
Yeah, twice.
Can you talk about the first time it happened?
The first time I was on a promo tour, I was in Tampa.
Mutual friend who knew him, like he was like like an uncle of mine named Troop. Like, rest in peace. Him and Thug was like real cool, and he introduced us to like probably like I would say like a month before he died. And then when he died, it kind of just brought us closer together, you know what I'm saying? Made us like
surveillance video of the murder suspect gunned down South Fulton resident Keith Troop. In the video from early Saturday morning, you can see the suspect waiting on the side of the building, and when Troop comes out of the store, the suspect comes from around the corner of this gas station and shoots multiple times.
Thought I seen a ghost because your son looked like you fool. King Troop, hey, how about him
Tonight, a teen is injured after someone fired nearly 24 shots during a music video shoot. It happened last night at the Martin Street Plaza Apartments in Southeast Atlanta. We're told the rapper YFN Lucci was on scene shooting a music video when shots were fired at his Bentley. At least one of the 21 bullets hit the car. A 15-year-old was grazed in the thumb. Right now, police are searching for 3 suspects.
I saw that you said you slept with this girl. Is that what it's about?
I was in the bed with her a couple times.
Wait, she said that's a lie though. She said that's a lie.
Last nigga tried me, almost got popped in Linux. Ask the cops, ask the detectives, they know all the business.
On August the 16th, 2019, Young Thug would finally drop his long-awaited album, So Much Fun. And straight from its opening track, there are a couple of lyrics that some people thought may have had some secret hints to the ongoing feuds that Thug had been involved in. There's a lyric where Thug says that somebody on his team has had a chain stolen from them, but he's spinning to try and find it. In fact, when it comes to chain snatchings, it seems like there has been a long-running back and forth between these two groups, because there's another clip circulating on social media seemingly depicting a YSL member showing off a YFN chain that they had recently snatched.
Get the chain though, on the fuck nigga. Take it the chain though, on the fuck nigga.
Also in that intro track, Just How It Is, Young Thug also says that the last person that tried him almost got popped at Atlanta's Lennox.
I know my heart, so it's like, once you just, I'm too pure. So once you just, you do that, it's like, no. I forgive. I always forgive. If I kill a person, I pray to God that He forgive me. Sometimes I just like to have fun. It's no hard feelings. I hope he get richer than me. Take care of his family for life. I have no problem with nobody. I just like we had problems before where we done disagreed on, but it's not a problem to where it's like, oh, I hope he die or like hell no, nigga, you don't mean no harm. I done seen you, nigga. We just was on the blue carpet together in BET. You couldn't have meant no harm. Cause you could have got it then. I put up a post the other day. I'm like, nigga, if I ain't like what you did for your mom and kids, like, I'm bigging him up. Like, nigga, I like what you do for your mom and your kids. I got videos saved in my phone of goddamn him riding in the car with his kids.
I got videos saved in my phone of goddamn him riding in the car with his kids.
The way he treat his mom and his kids will really stop me from doing something to him.
The way he treat his mom and his kids will really stop me from doing something to him.
No. They shootouts in the mall. They shootouts everywhere right now. Shit.
Oh yeah, Lenox Mall just lit up recently. You heard about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, man.
So
it almost seems like things are getting worse right now, just with the whole pandemic. Yak, there's a picture of Yak Gotti sitting on your or standing on your car.
Man, that nigga a hoe, man.
Mr. Banks, are you waiving sounding of the charges, or would you like me to read the charges?
We're waiving.
All right, and have you informed your client of the charges against him?
We have, Your Honor. I'll point to Your Honor that there is a series of 3 warrants to entertain, one ending in 1-4 that is felony murder, and then 1-3 and 1-5, which are the underlying aggravated assaults. Here is the triggering mechanism, obviously, is the aggravated assaults. On their face, 1-3 does not in any way allege that Mr. Bennett is the perpetrator of aggravated assault, or for that matter, the party to the crime of aggravated assault, and therefore making 1-4 felony murder as to that allegation impossible. The same thing with 1-5. His proximity in a vehicle to someone with a gun is not what establishes aggravated assault.
Detailed in the face of the warrant is his roles, specifically in the conduct that gave rise to the aggravated assault, and then subsequently the felony murder, which will include him allowing the occupants of his vehicle, him being the driver of the subject vehicle, to actually get out of the vehicle, fire multiple rounds, and then drive off with those occupants. So based on what the court has before it and the affidavits for all the warrants, there's more than enough to continue on and to find probable cause at this juncture. Mr. Bennett.
The channel wants.
Is shot and killed after getting into an argument over a bowling ball. The victim is Lakevia Jackson, who has a son with well-known rapper Young Thug. Now, late this afternoon, Atlanta police announced they're questioning a person who they are not calling a suspect. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has more.
What a sad and ironic development. Lakevia Jackson's family tells me she came here to the bowling alley to have some fun and celebrate a friend's birthday. But somehow, as fate would have it, ended up in an argument over a bowling ball and was fatally shot.
And she just was a very loving, kind person.
Lakevia Jackson's parents are having a hard time wrapping their minds around what happened to their daughter, who is the mother of one of rapper Young Thug's children. They say 31-year-old Jackson headed to the Metro Fun Center on Metropolitan Parkway with friends Thursday night.
She was celebrating her birthday at the bowling alley with a very close family friend.
Her mother tells me a second group came in and started taking over. That's when an argument ensued over a bowling ball.
Senseless. Could have been avoided. Like I said, the homicide detective said it best. Conflict resolution. People just don't know how to resolve conflict. Everybody want to pick guns up to solve a conflict.
Atlanta police spent the early morning hours looking at ballistics evidence. They also say they have several cooperating witnesses who are helping them piece together what happened. Meanwhile, Lakevia, who is described as kind-hearted and loving, leaves behind a 14-year-old son with Young Thug and grieving parents.
Atlanta police are investigating a shooting that left 3 people hurt. This was the scene last night near Winter Street Park. APD say they responded just before 10 to a home near the Mechanicsville neighborhood. We're told all 3 victims were alert and breathing. Right now, it's not clear what led to the shooting. While you were sleeping, we reached out to police for any information on a suspect. We're still waiting to
Story out of Southwest Atlanta. That's where there were 3 shootings, all of them fatal, taking place within 5 miles and 3 hours of each other.
And Good Day's Mark Teichner has the details of this deadly night live from Atlanta Police Headquarters. Mark, good morning.
Yeah, certainly scary situation. 3 separate unrelated shootings leave 3 people dead, 2 others hurt, and now police are hoping the public can help them find the killers.
There was a red vehicle that drove north on Smith Street and fired multiple rounds from that vehicle.
The gunfire began around 8:45 last night. That's when 3 men standing along Smith Street were shot. All of the victims were rushed to Grady. A 22-year-old died. The others were hit in the leg and are expected to survive. One of the survivors ran for help at a nearby house. Police found multiple weapons on the scene but aren't sure who they belonged to.
It was a red pickup truck, and apparently there was some sort of argument that took place earlier this evening between some males, and they apparently may have come back in this vehicle and shot several rounds.
A little over an hour later, homicide detectives responded to a Shell gas station on Cascade Road, where a man had been shot dead. Police say the victim was with 2 women when he got into an argument with another man. Investigators are hoping store surveillance video cameras will help ID the shooter.
Suddenly, there was some gunshots. They saw the gentleman clutch his chest and run around the front of a truck that's at the location, and he fell.
Then after 11, police discovered a man fatally shot in a car on Allison Court. Witnesses told officers a man walked up to the vehicle and got into a fight with the victim. The shooter pulled out a shotgun and fired 1 time.
We're trying to ascertain what that might have been about, what the nature of the argument may have been, and we'll move on from there as far as our investigation is concerned.
At this point, police have made absolutely no arrests.
Was in Buckhead Monday night as police arrested the rapper Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams. We showed you this exclusive video on WSB Tonight at 11.
Now here's the latest today. A judge held an initial hearing on the charges this morning. This is video from court of Young Thug in a blue jumpsuit. The rapper and 28 other defendants charged in a 56-count indictment alleging street gang activity, including robbery and murder.
Heard you snitching on your friends. Took a plea deal, left the streets real, but left your dog in that pen, nickel. That pain don't never end. Why they play back in that courtroom, keep playing back in his head, nigga. Where all y'all niggas said, where all y'all niggas dead, where all y'all niggas, yeah. Snitch, man, all y'all niggas bitch, man, all y'all niggas lace, man, all y'all niggas switch, yeah, it's lit. Man, fuck all y'all rap niggas, most y'all some rat niggas, all y'all chit chat nigga. Oh yeah, shoot a nigga with
He has a no bond status.
But on this case, it's potentially he could go home today.
Correct. If he was given a bond, he would. This case, he would not have served any jail time on this case.
Okay.
And that offer will also conclude today, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Fagan, have you communicated that to your client in terms of is that to correctly summarize the plea agreement or the potential plea offer, I should say?
The only change was that he wasn't aware of the concurrent status for the second case. At this time, though, he still maintains a not guilty plea.
Sure.
Respectfully requests, rejects the offer, and we announce ready for trial.
Okay, Mr. Mender, I'll tell you and I'll tell Mr. Beebe and Mr. Stevens the same thing, okay? At this point, you have the absolute right to plead not guilty, and that's what the law will presume, and the court will, of course, instruct that you have a presumption, and the presumptions and protections you enjoy as a criminal accused. You have to decide for yourselves what you want to do in this particular case, depending upon the results or the outcome of the trial. The only thing I would tell you, Mr. Mender, is the most, and I'm sure that Ms. Fagan, she is a very fine attorney. Seen her work. But trials, there's one thing about trials, it's uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen. So you got to beat 4 counts. If you don't beat them, what will happen is under this A&C recidivist statute, I have to, under the law, sentence you to the maximum sentence. And then whatever I sentence you to, you serve to the door. That's not anything I have any discretion over. It's not anything because I don't like you or because of what you're being charged with or whatever. Those have nothing to do with anything. That's what the state of Georgia, the legislature has mandated that I sentence you to. So one of the things a plea does is you know what you're getting. It caps your exposure. So, and what the state's telling you today is if you take the plea today, this is what you're going to get, and this is what I probably sentence you to, and you're done. You got to decide that for yourself. Don't be worried about any of these other folks that are attached to this indictment, because a plea is individual to that particular person for those particular reasons that he or she feels is of best interest to them, not anybody else. So, if you want a couple minutes out to talk with Ms. Fagan about that, nobody will be the wiser.
Judge, we're in a similar situation. We would reject the state's offer as provided on record, Your Honor. However, Mr. Beebe would ask the court if the court would hear a non-negotiated plea as to the indictment.
I would.
If that's the case, Judge, Mr. Beebe would then ask if he does not agree with Your Honor's sentence, would the court allow him to withdraw the plea and proceed to trial?
I need to think about that for just a second, okay?
Understood.
Just give me a minute, okay? But yes, that's more than fine.
Thank you.
Mr. Beebe, you got the same kind of same discussion I had with Mr. Mender applies to you. But let me just get back with you in just a second, okay?
Now, of course, I'm gonna slap the fuck out of Lucy and I'm gonna slap the fuck out of Sauce. I'm gonna slap the hell out y'all little nigga, man. Stop playing with me. Niggas don't even play with me because they know what time it is. Like. So for y'all niggas to play with me, just really tell me, like, confirm that y'all don't know what time it is, you know? Or y'all feel like I'm a hoe, or y'all feel like y'all play with me, or a nigga feel some type of way. You feel a weird way about me, like a nigga may feel something like, slam a bitch, I don't care, bro. I want water. So, you know, you gonna get that. I'm getting you all that.
Hey, man. Y'all stop tagging that pussy ass shit, man. Nigga ain't gonna slap nobody. Yeah, man. All them niggas had punching bag, them niggas been getting slapped out. All his little friend, he wanna make cool with them. He got niggas he wanna go link with. He punch their ass out. You got that nigga. Come on, man. That man a hoe, man. That nigga been running out the mall, boy. You a hoe.
Yeah, punching bag.
You don't never put your shit on Instagram when your shit get dropped and shit, do it.
Yeah.
Come on, hoe. Stop playing with that, nigga.
Yeah.
Bitch ass nigga. Cheap ass teeth in your mouth. Nigga. And I'm a buddy down to get some more, hoe. Yeah, cheap ass earring, nigga. Your little cheap ass jewelry, man. Hoe ass nigga.
The Fifth Amendment says I am not going to testify because I refuse to incriminate myself. You can do that, but you cannot take the Fifth when it comes to testimony towards someone else or some other people that were involved in a crime.
As the calendar ticks closer to a trial, the list of defendants taking plea deals in the high-profile YSL case continues to grow.
I know that I've only read a little bit of the indictment for you. You may think you know a little bit about this case, but it would be a violation for you to discuss this case amongst yourselves while you're sitting here, while you're going to the bathroom, when you get released to go to your vehicles, in small groups, when you come home, when you're coming in, when you're going up the elevator. It would be a violation for you to discuss this matter until such time as I authorize you to do that. Now, you're probably saying, he'll never know, bump him. Oh, I find out because people tend to snitch on one another. And then, I didn't ask you all for your comments. Ms. Fagan, it's very unprofessional. But people tell on one another.
Last week, Sergio Kitchens, better known as Rapper Gunna, took the first plea deal.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Please state after each statement whether or not you agree or acknowledge that the statements are truthful, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Please state after each statement whether or not you agree or acknowledge that the statements are truthful, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Followed by Walter Murphy, an alleged YSL co-founder. Then Winnie Lee, rapper Slime Life Shawty, and Martinez Arnold, rap name Little Duke, cut deals. Now Quantavious Greer, or rapper Un Funk, entered a guilty plea. All 5 have been sentenced to between 9 and 10 years on probation. Daryl Cohen is a prosecutor turned defense attorney. He's not involved in the case, but is tracking it closely and says while defendants such as Gunna and Greer could be called to testify, the Fifth Amendment won't help them avoid every question on the witness stand.
Firearm or the ability to obtain employment. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by pleading guilty to a felony, if you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or use a firearm in a crime, you will be guilty of a felony which may carry a sentence of 1 to 15 years in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you waive any and all offenses, including any mental health offenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you went to trial, you have the right to a trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and confront witnesses called to testify against you, and the right to testify to remain silent and not incriminate yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights, and after each right, I want you to answer if you understand that, okay?
Yes.
First, the right to a trial by jury.
Yes.
Next, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Hired by you, or as a court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at the trial of your case.
Yes.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
Yes, ma'am.
The right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence. The right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
With respect to indictment 22 SC 183572, where you're charged with count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. Count 47, conspiracy to commit a crime. Count 48, participation in criminal street gang activity. And count 55, conspiracy to commit a crime. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
This guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with a full knowledge of the charges against you.
Yes, ma'am.
2013 and May 8th of 2022, that the enterprise known did unlawfully conspire to acquire and maintain and control of the United States currency and other personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity. And also, while members were associated with the enterprise, did unlawfully conspire to conduct and participate in directly in racketeering activity as described in our indictment, Your Honor. Associates of the enterprise, YSL, or Young Slime Life, they did conspire to associate together with others for the common purposes of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. And in furtherance of that conspiracy, the defendants engaged in the activities enumerated within our indictment. Some of the objectives, Your Honor, include but not limited to preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity, including murder, assault, and threats of violence. Also preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, videos, and songs demonstrating an allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf. And those are just some of the ways in which they try to further the enterprise. Your Honor, the state would expect to show that this YSL started in the late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta, Georgia, and that some of the founders of this enterprise was Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug, also known as Slime, Walter Murphy, also known as DK, and Trotavia Stevens, also known as Tick, and also known as Slug. That this group uses a variety of identifiers, including colors, clothing, tattoos, and hand signs, as well as verbal and written identifiers. And Your Honor, specifically, how Mr. Sumlin will contribute to this enterprise is that we have a number of Instagram postings of Mr. Sumlin. The first being, Your Honor, Mr. Sumlin was incarcerated, I believe, between 2014 and 2017. Upon his coming home from prison, we have a picture of him in that video. Excuse me, it was a video. In that video is one of the co-defendants, Jeffrey Williams, and they posted this on social media, and the tag of that was original slime shit, and that was posted and tagged by this defendant, who's also known as Obama. We also have some imagery, Your Honor, also posted on social media with this defendant wearing red clothing with, on that clothing, it has MAXA, which is a play on MAGA, which is Make America Slime Again. And then he also has several tattoos identifying YSL on his body, Your Honor. We also have a couple other postings of this defendant with other members of YSL posted on the internet. Specifically, two of the crimes that he is charged with, Your Honor, in this indictment are actually two telephone calls of individuals who were both housed at the Fulton County Jail. The first phone call was on February 22nd, 2022, Your Honor. And this is a phone call by one of the co-defendants, Christian Eppinger. That individual called this defendant asking permission from a person known as Slime, whether or not he would have permission to harm YFN Lucci, also known as Richard Bennett. Your Honor, that phone call came after Mr. Bennett had already been attacked by other members of the YSL gang in the jail. Your Honor, although Mr. Sumlin did take the phone call and agreed on the phone and Slime, it does not appear that that ever took place. Nothing happened to Mr. Bennett subsequent to that phone call.
Oh, that shit gold right there would lift the hood up. That shit gonna be so hard. Steering wheel gold. Let me see. The wheel. Let me see the wheel. Yes, sir.
Facts alleged in the indictment. You agree to do that, right? Okay. In accordance with testifying truthfully about the statements contained within the defendant's factual acknowledgments, which was already read into the record, are true, you shall testify about those statements in any matters related to the case when you're asked to do so.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The organization YSL is an enterprise. That this defendant is a part of that enterprise along with his other co-defendants. And together, on or between the 24th day of January 2013 and the 8th day of May 2022, they did unlawfully conspire to acquire, maintain, directly and indirectly, an interest in and control of United States currency and other personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity, and also while associated with an enterprise, did unlawfully conspire to conduct and participate in, directly and indirectly, such enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. that the associates of the enterprise Young Slime Life, also known as YSL, that they did conspire to associate together with others for the common purpose of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. And in furtherance of the conspiracy, the defendants engaged in certain activities which are enumerated. Some of those activities include preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity, including murder, assault, and threats of violence. Preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, videos, and songs demonstrating an allegiance to the enterprise, and obtaining money, weapons, and other property through acts of racketeering activity, including robbery, theft, and the unlawful sale and distribution of drugs. The state will also prove that YSL is a criminal street gang that started in the late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta, Georgia, that some of the founders were Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug, also known as Slime, Walter Murphy, also known as DK, and this defendant, Trontavia Stevens, also known as Tick, and also known as Slug. That YSL uses a variety of identifiers, including colors, clothing, tattoos, and hand signs, as well as verbal and written identifiers.
Can ascertain by the fact that he was only charged in the RICO counts. He's not involved and hasn't been charged separately in any criminal activity regarding this case. It has been alleged against some other co-defendants. He had a string of issues in 2011, 12, 13. He went to prison in 2015 and has been out since the end of 2018, and since then he's been a model parolee. He's passed all of his urine screens. He's not gotten in any more trouble. In fact, they put a parole hold on him, but when they found out that this was mostly based on old crimes and a few posts that were innocuous and some pictures, they did remove the parole hold. So I'm asking the court to accept the state's recommendation, and I did just wanted to point out that he's tried to be a good citizen and do what he's supposed to do since he's been out of prison, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Stevens, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, do you have the opportunity to fully discuss the facts and circumstances of this case with your attorney, Ms. Gladden, to your satisfaction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she explain to you the various constitutional rights you give up by pleading guilty to your satisfaction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Those are the same rights that my prosecutor, Ms. Hilton, just set forth on the record a few minutes ago. Do you have any questions about those rights you wish to ask me?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I am holding the indictment in this case. Okay? And on page 6 of the indictment, I'm going to show you. Is this your signature on the page of this indictment above the word defendant?
Yes, sir.
All right. Before signing this indictment, did you have the opportunity to fully discuss the facts and circumstances of this indictment with your attorney, Ms. Gladden, to your satisfaction?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you need more time to discuss it with her?
No.
Okay. All right. But before you signed it, you had an opportunity to talk with her.
Yeah.
And you don't want to talk with her about the indictment anymore?
No.
Okay, all right. I'll note the indictment's been signed and the plea has been entered. Mr. Stevens, based upon the responses that you've given during the court's inquiry, I find that your guilty plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I find a factual basis for your plea. I'm going to accept your plea as tendered and as negotiated. To count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, the court will sentence you to 10 years to serve 2 years. I'll commute that to the time you already served, with a balance of 8 years on probation, subject to the special conditions that have already been set forth on the record. I'll go through those with you right now, but is that your understanding as to the base sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you shall abide by each and every condition of the negotiated agreement. That's the one that you signed and Ms. Gladden signed along with the state's counsel. Remember that one?
Yes, sir.
That states SC1 as it pertains to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
No love lost.
What you doing here? You had my sister living in the homeless shelter. She ain't been here how long, and now turn around she got shot with you?
Listen, homie, your face ain't no good out here.
That's like giving a dead man a loan.
This the only shit we know, brother, man. We sell drugs, man. That's it, brother.
You have really stepped it up.
We used to have a lot of fun now.
What you mean?
Hey, what's the matter? You got them fucking connects over, man. Pass them fucking connects over.
Little nigga.